Dear students, in the last class we have discussed about the reflection of electromagnetic waves by a perfect conductor at oblique incidence for perpendicular polarization. And in this class, we are going to see the next polarization, that is nothing but the parallel polarization or vertical polarization. So, here the electric field intensity is parallel to the plane of incidence. So, if you see this figure, this is the incident ray and this is the normal. So, this plane is nothing but the plane of incidence. So, plane of incidence means it consists of incident ray and normal, and this is the incident ray here, and this is the reflected ray. So, reflected ray means it is a plane of reflection. It consists of reflected ray as well as the normal here. Now, if you see this incident ray, it is just striking the surface of this perfect conductor, because our boundary surface is nothing but a perfect conductor where you can see the value of sigma is equal to infinity. And as it is a perfect conductor, the skin depth is 0, skin depth delta is equal to 1 over root pi f mu sigma. And here sigma is equal to infinity, then delta is equal to 0. That means the depth of penetration is equal to 0. Nothing will be penetrated into this boundary surface. The only option for this one is it is to be reflected in this direction with the same angle of incidence. So here the angle of incidence and angle of reflection is same, that is equal to theta here. So once again I say, and if you take this electric field intensity, it is parallel to the plane of incidence here, or if you take this magnetic field, it is perpendicular to this. So, always polarization refers to the direction of electric field intensity. If the electric field intensity is parallel to the plane of incidence or vertical to the boundary surface, it is called as parallel polarization or vertical polarization. So, if you see this electric field intensity is in this direction and magnetic field is perpendicular to the plane of incidence and electric field is this. And always remember, the direction of the wave will be given by E cross H, means A cross HI. A cross HI. So, if you take this G and G is crossing this H, that means he is crossing this H means it is coming like this. That means clockwise movement here. And imagine a screw here, oka screw ఊహించుకోండి ఇక్కడ, and turn it in this clockwise direction, it is going in this direction. That is nothing but the direction of the wave. So, E cross H will give you the direction of the wave like this. Exactly come to this side, and here, this is the magnetic field now, and this is the electric field here. And now electric field is crossing this magnetic field means it is coming like this. It is coming. That means it is coming like this means. So whenever you are rotating this E cross H like this, the wave will come in this direction. So that's why I can say here the direction of this wave is reversed here, because if you see this in the both rays, the magnetic field is perpendicular, but whereas your electric field is parallel to the plane of incidence. If the electric field is parallel to the plane of incidence, it is called as parallel polarization, or with respect to the boundary surface I can say it is vertical polarization. So now I would like to write these wave equations for this incident ray as well as the reflected ray. And the conclusion is here, definitely after having some equations of this, we can conclude that there will be a standing wave distribution along this z direction as usual, and there will be a traveling wave in the direction of y here. So, let us write the mathematical equations to prove that there is a standing wave distribution along this z axis, meaning is nothing is transporting along z axis. The wave is only propagating in the y direction like this. So, in order to prove that, I would like to take the help of directional cosines concepts, because I want to write the wave equation for an oblique incidence as well as oblique reflection here. For the reflected ray, I can say H reflected is equal to some HR into e to the power of minus j beta into n dot r, n dash dot r, where n dash is nothing but a vector. So this is n dash cap, but whereas for the incidence it is n dash, n cap. This is n cap and it is n dash cap. So as I am writing for the reflected ray, that is equal to HR into e to the power of minus j beta into n dash r. So if you take this is HR into e to the power of minus j beta into n dot r means x cos A plus y cos B plus z cos C. And here A, B, C are the angles with respect to x-axis, y-axis and z-axis. So what is the angle with respect to x-axis? X-axis అంటే ఏమిటి? మీ వైపు ఉన్నది x-axis ఇలా ఉంటుంది. X-axis in this direction. సో ఈ x-axisకి ఈ రిఫ్లెక్టెడ్ రేకి మధ్యని 90 degrees ఉంటుంది. సో A is equal to pi by 2. A is equal to pi by 2. And B means angle with y-axis. This reflected ray already making an angle theta with z-axis. This reflected ray already making an angle theta with z-axis. This is totally 90 degrees. So with respect to y-axis means 90 minus theta, that is equal to pi by 2 minus theta. And if you take C, it is theta directly. This is the reflected ray making an angle theta with this. So this is theta. Therefore H reflected is equal to HR into e to the power of minus j beta into x cos A. A means pi by 2. Cos pi by 2 is 0. Y cos B means y cos of pi by 2 minus theta plus z cos theta. Z cos theta. So this is equal to HR into e to the power of minus j beta into this is y sin theta plus z cos theta. So this is the equation of the reflected magnetic field. H reflected is equal to. So similarly, we can write the equation for the incidence also. So how to write down this H incidence? H incidence is equal to some Hi into e to the power of minus j beta into n dot r, because you know the direction cosine concept is meant for writing the equation for the oblique direction. So here you can see H incident is equal to some Hi into e to the power of minus j beta into once again x cos A plus y cos B plus z cos C. Just now identify the values of ABC here. What is A? Angle with x-axis. As usual, x-axis in this direction. This plane is at an angle of 90 degrees to this. Then A is equal to pi by 2. And what is B? B is equal to. So B means angle with y-axis. That means this is the angle. This is the reflected ray. This is the reflected ray. And the angle with this y-axis means it is totally pi by 2, already making an angle theta here, pi by 2 minus theta. So this will be pi by 2 minus theta. That's why I can say that B is equal to pi by 2 minus theta. And C is equal to, C means this reflected ray with z-axis. So if you take this z-axis like this, extend like this is totally 180 pi degrees, already making an angle theta here. So this angle is, you can say this is pi minus theta. So C is equal to pi minus theta. Therefore this is equal to Hi into e to the power of minus j beta into x cos A. A is equal to pi by 2 means 0. Y cos pi by 2 minus theta means y sin theta. And C is nothing but pi minus theta. Cos of pi minus theta means minus cos theta. minus cos theta. So this is called H incident wave. H incident wave. So you know how to write the equation for H incidence and H reflections also. So this equation is nothing but for this reflected wave, and this equation is for this is incident wave. Now I would like to find the resultant of this. So how to find out the resultant? Resultant means very simple. You have to take the addition of these two. So that resultant wave may be a standing wave along the z-axis. So now let me just calculate what is the resultant wave of this, the total magnetic field. Okay. Just now we have written the wave equation for this incident ray as well as the reflected ray. So these are the wave equations written using the concept of our direction cosines. Now what is the H total here? H total is equal to H incident plus H reflected. H reflected. So if you take this H incident and H reflected here, they are having magnitude Hi and Hr. So from the boundary conditions, there is no phase reversal for these magnetic field components. That's why I can say that Hr is equal to Hi. Both are same. But whereas for the electric field components, Er is equal to minus Ci. But here Hr is equal to Hi only. So if you sum up here, H total is equal to Hi into e to the power of minus j beta into y sin theta minus z cos theta plus Hr, but Hr is nothing but Hi. So Hi into e to the power of minus j beta into y sin theta plus z cos theta. So already I told you how to simplify this in the last class. So using the concept of your mathematics, you can write down here H total is equal to 2 times Hi cos beta z into z into e to the power of minus j beta y into y. That means the total magnetic field is equal to twice the amplitude into cos variation, cos into beta z into z and e to the power of minus j beta y into y. So this equation is telling very clearly the wave is propagating in y direction. Here in this direction the wave is propagating like this. And if you take this 2Hi into cos beta z into z, this is nothing but the standing wave distribution. So this equation is clearly telling that there is a standing wave distribution along z-axis. So remember here, so this is an incident ray and this is nothing but the reflected ray. And they are forming the standing wave distribution along z-axis. So standing wave means you know very well, nothing will be transported in this direction. Standing wave means very simple, my dear friends. It is having both incident as well as reflected waves. For example, and తీసుకోండి 2 అడుగులు ముందుకి this is nothing but incident wave and 2 అడుగులు వెనక్కి it is nothing but a reflected wave. Then definitely both waves are present but nothing is transporting. సో ఈ ప్లేస్ నుంచి నేను వేరే చోటకి వెళ్ళాలంటే 2 అడుగులు ముందుకి 2 అడుగులు వెనక్కి వేస్తుంటే ఎప్పుడు అక్కడే ఉంటాను. ఎగ్జాక్ట్లీ వేవ్స్ ఉండొచ్చు, but there is no transport of energy along the z-axis, but standing wave distribution is there. This entire distribution is moving in y-axis because this equation is telling here e to the power of minus j beta y into y. So what is this beta z and beta y? Beta z means phase shift constant in z direction and beta y means phase shift constant in y direction. So here what is beta z? Beta z means you can say beta z is equal to, that means phase shift constant in z direction is equal to beta cos theta, and beta y is equal to, you can say this is beta into sin theta. So beta z is equal to beta into cos theta and beta y is equal to beta into sin theta. So whenever the wave is coming in this direction, it is having some value beta. This beta is having splitting into two components. One is along z axis, one is along y axis. So that is nothing but this beta z and beta y. So now once you have written this magnetic field components, it is very easy to write the electric field components now, because you know the relation between electric field and magnetic field. So what is the relation here? For the incident case, EI by HI is nothing but your eta, because you know the relation here. Exactly, here also you know this is nothing but here by HR is equal to, you can say this is also eta in the same medium. So the ratio of electric field to magnetic field is nothing but the intrinsic impedance here. And remember friends, if you take this equation here and it is having a standing wave distribution along z axis, and where it will be maximum, forget about the direction, you take 2hi cos beta z into z, where it is maximum when z is equal to 0, cos 0 is 1, means it is having a magnitude of 2hi. That means what is z is equal to 0? This is the z axis and z is equal to 0 means boundary. So at this boundary you are having maximum magnetic field component. Maximum magnetic field components. And also it is maximum at the distances of lambda by 2 along the z axis. So this equation is telling the magnetic field is maximum at the boundary surface as well as at the distance of lambda by 2 from this boundary surface, and it is minimum at the odd multiples of lambda by 4 wavelength, because it is already explained to you whenever I discussed this at the time of normal incidence also. So just what is beta here? Beta is nothing but 2 pi by lambda, and z is nothing but in terms of lambda you substitute here, you are going to get the excellent conclusion here. Magnetic field is maximum at this surface and it is also maximum at a distance of lambda by 2 from the boundary surface, and it is minimum at the odd multiples of quarter wavelength. So standing wave distribution untundi, very simple. Whenever you are sending the energy like this, incident energy la vastunappudu, and the equation is telling there is a standing wave distribution along z axis, ante etti paristhitullonu along the z axis propagation jaragadu. And whenever it is hitting the surface of a perfect conductor, spin depth 0 kabatti lopaliki velladu, it does not penetrate, and there is no question of transport of energy along z axis. The only thing is, ultimate option is it has to be reflected back. So ikkadi nunchi vastunnatuvanti energy kachithanga it reflect avvalsinde. That is the conclusion that is given by this excellent equation, that is 2hi cos beta z into z e to the power of j beta y into y. So whatever the beta phase shift is here, that is splitting into two components. One is in y direction and one is in z direction. So now just by the seeing these equations, the relation between E and H, we are going to write the electric field equations also. Okay. So now we are going to write down the electric field equations from the magnetic field equations. Okay. Now writing the electric field components for this incident wave and for the reflected wave, we have to use the relation EI by HI is equal to eta and ER by HR is equal to eta. So for incident wave, you know your electric field intensity EI, this is the EI, is having two components, one is along y direction and other one is along z direction. So along y direction means EY is equal to EI into cos theta, EI into cos theta. Similarly, EZ is equal to EI into sin theta. So this is nothing but splitting the components in horizontal as well as vertical. It is already known to you. So what is this EI? EI means you can say eta times HI. So therefore EY is equal to eta times HI into cos theta. And similarly, and for EZ, so EZ is equal to eta times HI into sin theta. So this is for the incident wave. So for the reflected wave, HR is equal to HI only. There is no change of the phase. HR is equal to HI. And you know ER by HR is equal to eta. So this relation you have to use here. Therefore here I can say EY is equal to and minus eta into HR cos theta, and similarly your EZ is equal to eta into HR into sin theta. Okay. You have written this electric field components in y direction as well as in z direction. So the total component in the z direction is equal to, so Ez is equal to sum of these two. What is the sum of these two? 2 eta into sin theta into Hi cos beta z into z into e to the power of minus j beta y into y. So this is the magnitude changes here. This is the magnitude, you have to remember this. And similarly, if you sum of these two components, you are going to get in y direction also. Therefore, Ey is equal to total component y direction is equal to 2j eta cos theta into Hi into sin beta z into z into e to the power of minus j beta y into y. So these two equations Ez and Ey, these are the total field components of this incident wave as well as reflected wave. These two equations are telling the wave is propagating in y direction. So come to the figure. This wave is propagating in y direction, which is nothing but the travelling wave. And its magnitude is 2 eta sin theta and Hi is nothing but the magnitude here. And here what you have to say is here, these two equations are telling very clearly that there is a standing wave distribution along z direction. So this is telling that there is a standing wave distribution along z direction. And your Ez component, Ey components are also telling here there is a standing wave distribution along the direction, and this wave is travelling in the y direction like this. So either from the magnetic field components or from the electrical field components, I can say whenever the wave is reflected by a perfect conductor at oblique incidence, there is a standing wave distribution in the z direction and there is a travelling wave in y direction. So this conclusion is same as the conclusion what we have given in the last class for the perpendicular polarization also. So this way you have to understand for this parallel polarization, and which is also called as vertical polarization. Okay, I hope you understood this concept very clearly. Okay, thank you.